And we are live for session 49 of whatever this is. The rising sun's rays warm the coastal countryside as the port city of Dralamar wakes to the sound of ships' bells, sailors' swears, the clop and clack of hoof and wheel on cobbled streets. In the Minted Terrace, a narrow clifftop dotted with manors and small estates that the city's richest call home, Thornton Manor stands damaged inside and out by more than one battle. While the city below begins to pulse with the bustle of the day's business, the terrace sits eerily quiet despite the previous night's excitement. A handful of robed Crimson Order mages, under the command of High Inquisitor Kreneth Voss, silently pace the manor's halls, on guard for more mischief despite their diminished numbers. In private chambers within, guarded physically by more Order mages and magically by arcane wards, elven wizard Kaelder Maloro recovers from injuries inflicted by an unseen mind flayer. Nearby, a diminutive, dark-skinned fire genassie's blazing yellow eyes remain fixed on her adopted father's resting form, her usually wild shock of flaming hair calmed to a subdued flicker. In a stone pit, in a dungeon deep beneath the manor, beneath a grid of heavy iron bars, lies disgraced Order Inquisitor Talgrin Vamir. Stripped of her signature red robes, shackled, chained, and bathed in the anti-magic field of a watchful canine construct no longer under her control, a profane prayer to her dark patron leaves her bloodied lips as she bides her time. Around her in the pit lay the lifeless forms of several subordinates loyal to her cause, their still faces twisted in agony, their order sigils burned from their flesh. Nearby, a stone wall masks a spiraling tunnel that descends to a mostly unexplored tunnel that curves gently in either direction, implying, if it continues, a massive circle beneath the city proper. The tunnel's walls, ceiling, and floor are recently painted with complex abyssal runework. On the building's ravaged upper floor, a familiar magical hut begins to shimmer and fade as our party of adventurers wakes to face the new day. That's where we'll begin. So, as morning comes, those of you who stood watch in the night saw not much, as it was quiet and still here on the terrace. What would you like to do?
Sorry, go ahead.
Well, how many of us want to stay here at the manor to kind of investigate the basement?
I mean, I think we all want to go and look, but
Okay.
I need to shop first.
I'll do it
And-
with you.
She doesn't know exactly where to go, so she's going to ask Louis, where's the best place to go for spell components?
Louis would be perfectly comfortable hand-waving shopping session, but I would imagine Laceran's.
Oh yeah, I guess he would.
Now that the red-robed wizards are kind of done and taken care of, we could probably let him know that he can return back to his shop, huh?
There is also that business of the money that he owes you.
Mm-hmm. Well, me and Nora could go and pick that up.
Shall we collect before we go shopping?
Yes.
While you're all catching up, I have some notes on a couple of things that would have happened in the night. I just need to know who of you have stood guard. I imagine you wouldn't have all just hunkered down and gone to bed. Like somebody would have. I imagine you don't entirely trust the remnant of the Crimson.
No.
So
No, Lunalia would have taken one watch.
Rogar would have taken another.
in that order.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
And a third watch. Anybody?
Noro.
Okay. In that order. Well then, Lunalia. An hour or so after things settled down at the manor, a contingent of Dralian Guard would have approached. You would have seen them greeted by Kreneth Voss as they approached the front steps of the manor house. There were words exchanged, and the guardsmen left, not from whence they came, but heading further to the west, perhaps to follow up with someone who'd reported a ruckus at the Thornton Manor. After another hour or so, carriages, 3 of them, came, delivering nobles back to neighboring homes. The house to the west and a couple of the smaller sort of walk-ups to the north of the manor house, perhaps indicating why there weren't many folk around to report the disturbance. That's it.
Okay.
I imagine you'd share that with your friend.
Yep.
And this is evening time, or is this
This is morning, so you've
morning time? Okay.
the fight and subsequent events occurred very late in the evening, and by the time it was all over, it was basically you'd all decided to settle in to rest here, put up his shack upstairs in sort of an open area that was demolished from Ember's previous attack to give you all some safety. And so that's where you start this morning. The remnants of the second floor, perhaps right above the open foyer, the first floor.
Well, if we're going to collect, we should go now.
Yes. Does anyone need anything while we're out?
I will come along. There are some things that I need from Lassarian as well. But is there any other steps that we need to do?
Nope.
Not that I can think of. I'd like to let Chrono know that we were successful here.
Well,
Rainy day. Do you want us to come with you to Chrono, or would you prefer to go alone to commute with the Xavier Temple?
I could probably go alone to the temple. Like I think it's further than where you guys are going to be going. And I do have questions for him as well.
Are you comfortable going by yourself?
I should be fine. I've been meaning to ask though, Louis. That thing that was in the basement. Do you know what that was?
You mean the tunnel underneath the basement?
The giant creature that came out of the pit in the middle.
Oh, no, I'm not familiar with that specific creature. Although the ritual that they did is it is a way to summon demons from the abyss or from other planes of existence that I do not want to go to. But I do not know specifically what that creature was. I know of this ritual though.
So you can tell that it was a demon or fiend, I guess.
Some things like this. Some things that is not of this plane. Some things that is from a place that is inherently evil.
Okay. I got the same feeling from looking at it that I've been getting recently in some locations.
Interesting. What other locations did you get that feeling at?
And this would be out of character. The place that Scribble went to talk to with Ham and Sam and the tavern.
So it would have been the garrison house at the north end of the docks district. And then, the tavern, specifically when you were sort of focusing on a closed door at the far side of the tavern that led to another building.
So Do you think that these situations have something in common? Do you think that maybe... I believe that what you are inferring here, or maybe it is me that is inferring, is that Amon Sam is maybe a demon or a fiend of some sort?
Maybe. Whatever it is, the two feelings that I've gotten are very similar to whatever that creature was. It was the same gut-wrenching, sick feeling.
Would Kronos know more?
That's some of the questions that I'd hope to ask.
Oh, well, it looks.
This is interesting. Would you like me to accompany you to the temple to Dr. Chrono, or do you think that I would be more than happy to provide Lunalia with a list of the things that I require?
I mean, you'll probably need more specific things, so it's probably safer for you to go with.
I do know
with
how to
Lunalia.
read.
No, it is okay. I understand the desire to commune with those at your temple on your own. It is no problem, but do let us know anything else, any other questions you may have.
I believe I still have a thing of sending in my ring of spell storing,
I think you are correct.
so I haven't used it yet. But I'll be able to contact.
I thought we said that you used that to contact Chrono to let him know that the refugees were coming, or
So,
did we discuss that and it didn't happen? I thought I remember. I remember.
Yeah, I think we discussed it, and it didn't happen because that we weren't getting chased. Like there's not so much of a threat right now.
I don't think you were entirely sure of what the timeline would vote the docks either. They certainly weren't just gonna drive over and dump them.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, Shade's on the boat with them, so.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah, and Shade is from Chronos Temple, right?
Well,
I think he's an affiliate.
Yeah, he knows he's from Balinese to the south. He is who originally accompanied Lunalia to the area outside of Vandalin and then went on ahead to Dralamar. But he knows Chrono. He's involved with this whole storyline.
I think that's why we didn't send to Chrono, because we knew that he was on the boat.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the instructions we provided to the boat then were just, hey, take these along with, is it Shade?
Shade.
And down to the other docks, and then Shade will escort them to the temple. That's the instructions we gave the boat?
I think it was go out into the bay and then like float around for a day or two and then come back in.
Yeah, it was along the lines of, act casual. So just go and come back later. Don't just, don't visibly go from one dock to the next. Go like you're leaving to go off on another, another supply run, and then come back to your dock in the dock.
Okay, I guess my question is, that no longer requires our facilitation.
Right.
Correct.
Got it. Okay. In that case, so if you need anything, you have the spell in the ring. Let us know, hey?
Mm-hmm.
C'est bon.
Should we meet back up at... Where should we meet back up then?
I think we should meet back here.
All right.
I think we should all go and investigate what's going on down below.
How do you plan on getting back?
I have 2 feet.
You're just going to walk through the guards?
Perhaps I should talk to Voss before we head out.
We do we think that there is a way that he can procure entrance and exit from this area?
He seems to have a fair amount of pull. I don't see why not. I mean, we could just go and ask him.
Yeah, we can probably get like a note or something.
Or he could point us in the direction of somebody that could give us passage.
Monsieur Oiseau, is there anything that you need to accomplish before we take a look at the tunnels below?
What is the plan for these tunnels?
See where they lead. See what's in the tunnels, I guess.
We need to see how far they go. We need to investigate the writings more. See if there's anything else down there.
But we should, I agree, we should have some sort of, we know that we want these tunnels to go away. Maybe we get some mining equipment to collapse the tunnel.
If you think it circles the entire city, I think it's gonna take more than you guys with some pickaxes to collapse these tunnels, and then what happens to the city?
Oh, I do not wield pickaxes. No, I was thinking more explosives. But I do not know that there is a big circle through the city of street levels that collapses. At a minimum, we should go through and deface and destroy all of the figures that are there. Oui.
What if we waited for Rogar and maybe Cronus would know more about this?
Yeah, I can let Kronos know. See
And-
what
and-
his
Right.
see what his take is on it. Hell, I could potentially bring him here with us if he's able to.
Might even get help.
No, Rose. Oh my goodness, you are so smart. I did not even realize your mastery of magic extended so far, but you are correct. This is not something that I have any experience with. This is magic of a more divine nature. It is outside of my means to dispel it very effectively. Excellent thinking.
All right, so you will go to Chrono,
Mhm.
explain to him what's going on, ask for his help. We will go procure some reagents. Before we go, we will need to talk to Voss to make sure we have a way back in. Scribble, what will you be doing?
I'll follow along on the shopping trip to see what happens. I don't think it's gonna be as easy as you're making it sound.
So, can we recap for who is going where with whom?
What do you think is not as easy as we are making it sound? The shopping or the tunnels?
The plan that I've heard so far is to walk out of the Magister's Terrace in this wealthy, affluent neighborhood with permission from someone we met last night. Go pick up a couple reagents, and then go destroy some tunnels below a city, all with nothing going wrong.
I don't think we can destroy the tunnels. I don't think it's a good idea. The city would collapse. I think we need to know what the tunnel is there for.
What does Scribble think?
Scribble doesn't know. Scribble's just like, this just seems weird and something that probably we're not up to handling with just our group.
Well, that's why we're going to be getting Chronos' help.
I also think, number one, we do not just get the permission of Monsieur Vaux. We should ask him if he knows a way that we can procure passage in and out. His permission probably does not mean much to those girls, but it is possible that he knows how to get there, get through.
Yes, I'm sure he can point us in the direction of somebody that can get us temporary, if not permanent, passage.
Yeah, I mean, Scribble's going along. He's not arguing.
I do think someone should stay here. If you all intend to go, I will just give you my shopping list, Louis.
And why do you think that we should stay here?
Because I don't trust the Red Robes to keep their end of the bargain. I'd hate to see Aloro disappear before we get back.
D'accord. This is fine.
Should I take his boots?
I think that will be fine. She's going to give Noro 100 gold. She's going to give Noro 200 gold to buy 200 gold worth of diamond dust. I will remove it from my inventory.
All right.
Yeah, so just put 200 gold in your inventory. It is specifically for diamond dust. You might need Louis' help. But I'm sure that Lysarin would be able to, if not give it to us, point us to someone who can.
So, reminder that Lysarin is currently under the protection of Chrono at his temple. I think that means if you guys are going shopping with the intent to procure from Lysarin, that you would all just be going to the temple, perhaps with some of you escorting him back to his home and place of business, and then Rogar staying behind to talk with Chrono. Is that does that sound
Makes
right,
sense.
or
Yeah,
did you have other shopping you wanted to do in the market district?
I do not.
That makes sense to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. With Lunalia staying behind.
I will stay behind.
At the manor house. All right. So with the cabin, with the Chez Lamour fading away into memory in the background, and the party having decided what they want to do, before you leave or before you part ways, is there anything you want to do at the manor house?
Yes, we would need to speak to Voss.
You find, not far away, a member of the Crimson Order. His hood is up, his mask is on, but at your approach, he perks up a bit and steps forward from seated in a corner. he removes the mask and pulls the hood back, and you see it is your former captive. His shaven head burns red around fresh tattoos of intricate arcane sigils. Seems to have received an upgrade or a promotion. A short nod and a bit of a smile. You all look rested?
You look like you've had an upgrade.
He reaches up absentmindedly to touch sort of the back of his head. Yes, well, he named me his hand for my part in all of this. After such a betrayal, loyalty, it seems, weighs heavier than tenure. And so here I am.
Is he about?
The High Inquisitor is resting. He's had a long night. I suppose introductions are in order. I never gave you my true name at our first meeting. Nazik Trask bows shortly.
Bonjour.
Yes. Well, I must
We were
say
hoping.
I'm relieved to see us on the same side of things.
Well, that remains to be seen. We had hoped to speak with your master.
As I said, he's resting. He spent most of the night interrogating the lesser of the order that was stationed here. I was ordered to assist him. I will be haunted by their screams for a long time. Those who are faithful to the order remain, what few there are. The rest fill a pit below this house. Unfortunately,
Well, perhaps you could help us then. We do need a way back through into the muted terrace once we've gone about our business today.
in the Minted Terrace.
Yes.
I've heard it called the Muted Terrace and Magister's Terrace so far today. Curious to see what else it gets called.
You see, out in the wilds, we don't have names for places. We have seen people come and go through the gates, but not before displaying some sort of badge or paperwork indicating that it's permissed. Is that a word? That's not a word.
Yeah, no, but it sounds old-timey, so I'll allow it. I got it. I understood it. He smiles and says, well, we have no shortage of additional robes and masks if that's to your liking. We were given...
It is not.
Yes, well, I have some of the merchant's marks. I suppose I can lend you. Might I look forward to the lot of you returning later? I'm sure the High Inquisitor would have words with you. There is still the matter of my former master, who is chained below this place. I believe he wanted to save her questioning. To be done in your presence. He looks specifically at Louis, but then kind of looks around the rest.
How gracious of him. I will be staying behind.
But the rest of us, we will be back as well this afternoon at some point. Feel not, Monsieur Trask, you have not seen the last of us.
Yes, well, I mean no offense by this, but we possess the power to find you. Should you go missing? So, don't. Master Voss wished me to bid you look into how all of this was set up and procured. Is, I suppose the word suspicious is accurate. Suspicious about my former master's link, the master of coin of this city. Surely there's more to it than money.
I cannot promise that we will find any answers today, but we will add it to the list of things that we will look into. It is a concern of ours as well.
Good. Well, we are keeping the events that happened here quiet as best we can. Mr. Voss had words with city guard who approached in the night. I do not know how long we'll be able to keep this. I do not know what exactly the arrangement is that those I used to work for had with the Master of Coin, who apparently owns this place, but at such time as we are no longer welcome, we will vacate. And I will send you word. If that happens today. If not, I look forward to seeing you all in the evening. I'll be back with those sigils. And he steps through a doorway, and a few minutes later comes back with a handful of tokens, effectively medallions on short chains that can be attached to a belt or, a bracelet. They are a simple brass medallion with the city's symbol on them, as well as the mark of the Merchants Guild. He hands one to each of you, including Linalia, even though you're not leaving. He says, "These should be enough. Just be honest about where you're going when you return. You return to Thornton Manor, and they won't bother you."
Merci beaucoup. It is much appreciated, and we will speak more this afternoon.
Lunalia would pull Noro aside as you guys are getting ready to leave to say, I did see what you did in that last round of fighting. I'm proud of you. I think you've come a long way.
I didn't think it would work.
There is much more that we can practice together, however. Perhaps once we are out of the city. I don't know how anyone can meditate here.
Oh, is Nora going to take a level in Druid?
Nora just nods. He nods at you with approval.
Remember, diamond dust, not sugar, not glass beads.
Oh, okay. Diamond dust.
Don't spend it on food. And with that, she's going to wander off somewhere in the property, maybe out to the little pond or something outside.
Yeah, there's a fairly well-manicured green belt on the narrow grounds that surround the building. A fountain and... suppose I should probably look at the map when I'm narrating it, but
But she is also keeping a close eye on the comings and goings of the place. She doesn't want Aloro getting out of here, either on his own or, being taken away. So she's keeping an eye on things.
while the others are gone, will Lunalia make any attempt to see Aloro or to go back down to the dungeon below and check in on the prisoner or
No.
or the tunnel
She will
or
not,
anything, or is she
definitely.
just going to
No,
hang
she's
out?
not going to do anything underground. She might go and see Aloro, but that's it. She's not going to do anything underground.
All right. Well, if there's nothing else that you guys wish to do here, minus Lunalia, the party departs from the Minted Terrace, making their way towards South Bank Commons. They last left Lysarin. How are you all traveling? So you make it by showing the symbols. You make it past the guard gate. No problem. In fact, they barely pay you any attention as you are on your way out. How do you travel? Are you just walking casually down the city streets? Are you looking about for any sign of followers?
I'd say once we're past the market district, before we get close to the church, we're walking fine. But as soon as we start getting within a couple of blocks, we'd Rogar would start leading them on a more roundabout way to the church, just to be safe, or looking around to make sure we're not being followed.
Scribble will be watching the entire time to see who's looking,
All right.
because whenever he talked to Ham and Sam, he was told that there was no longer under protection, and now they seem to be under the impression that they're still fine and under the protection.
Those of you who are watching, go ahead and make perception checks. Rogar with that damn shield.
Louis is blissfully unaware of his surroundings.
It's got a nose in a book.
He's checking the grocery list.
Well, yeah, I imagine he would be perhaps penning his own list of things to collect.
Or dictating to Pierre.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he just doesn't care about what's going on around him for the most part. I mean, he's not very perceptive.
I mean, it's okay if we get jumped by thugs. That's what Fireball's for.
Exactly. He figures whatever happens, he could probably figure it out. So.
Scribble and Rogar. Rogar, you get just a general sense that something's not right, that you're being watched. You can't seem to shake it. Scribble, you very specifically notice two different individuals following you at different times. With your perception check, you recognize one of them to be Dresden. Silas the Red's sidekick or right hand or whatever he is. The other one you don't recognize. He looks like he would blend in a crowd very well. He's perhaps a local laborer or not so well-to-do merchant. Dressed in a slightly rumpled tunic and breeches. Nothing about his person indicates any wealth of any sort, and he has a forgettable face. A bit of a 5 o'clock shadow and dark, somewhat messy hair. He'd be at home in a local pub, as well as down by the docks or anywhere else you'd see him walking down the street. But you just happen to catch him looking your way and walking the same direction. And when your eye line meets his, he looks away, and that's the clue. You keep watching out of the corner of your eyes, and you do see that Dresden notices him and disappears. You don't see Dresden again. But this other man continues following you for a while. Is there anything you'd
Alright,
like to do?
I just tell the party, not that anyone would be surprised, but we're being followed by a couple men. One of them is the Dresden, Silas's little toy. The other, I don't know who it is, but he appears to have been noticed by Dresden, who now doesn't appear to be following us. So he's probably being followed.
Should we make a detour to more of a back alley kind of thing, or do you think we should carry on to the church?
Do you care if anyone sees you go to the church?
I mean, Chrono did mention to be careful of not letting people see a lot of traffic going to the church.
If you want, you could just kill him. Or scare him, or, if you want to point him out, I can make him fly up in the air for a little while, whatever, you...
You might not want to bring that much attention in the city if we're trying not to draw attention to where we're headed. I can break off and see if he follows me or if he is after the group.
Yeah, you could do that.
And then if he continues to follow you guys, I can keep an eye on him.
Alright. We'll walk around a bit more before heading to the church then, just to be safe.
Maybe we just turn around the corner and wait there and ambush him, and we can, I don't know, cut off one of his feet or steal his boots or something like this.
Jesus, and you call Lunalia cold-hearted.
You are a very bloodthirsty no, my friend.
If you ask me, I do not care. He can follow us wherever we go. I do not hiding any secrets. But if it is a big deal, we take care of it like it is a big deal. Whatever you want.
If he's any good at his job, he won't follow us around the corner.
No, we'll buy you some time to follow him and see, or to break off and see where he goes.
All right. Well, as the four of you turn a corner, Scribble, go ahead and make a stealth check as you break off from the party. You turn down a relatively narrow street. There are a lot of places where you could slip away. Narrow alleys between buildings and such. Where do you slip away?
I mean, so if we're looking at the map, we're probably somewhere like near the market district.
Yeah, here, let me back to that map and I will. Yeah, you're somewhere here.
It's not pinging. Okay, now I see it. Yeah, I would just take off around a corner towards a shop, like not completely trying to, you know, be hidden. I mean, kind of trying to figure out if, I'm the one being followed.
All right. Make a perception check again as you slip away and try and keep an eye on any followers behind. You wait and watch as your friends pass hiding spot. You do hear a voice behind you, a familiar one, Dresden's voice, somewhat soft. You're not fooling anyone hiding there. I can see you.
Who's hiding?
You know you're being tailed by someone other than me, right?
Absolutely.
Good. Black Blade by the looks of him. I wouldn't tangle with him, not one-on-one. 4 of you could take him, for sure. One of Hammond's men, I think.
Well,
Boss
shouldn't be too much of an issue.
Well, take that information and do what you will with it. Also, the boss wants to talk to you. Have a minute. You look like you're out and about, so place of your choosing, and I'll see that he makes it there.
Any place I want.
Within reason.
All right. Well, we can't go to the place that burnt down.
Type of place where you and he might have a quiet conversation out of sight. Prefer you don't bring your friends, but I can't stop you.
Would Scribble still think that the empty house is safe?
It's the type of place that if it sits vacant for too long, somebody will move in.
All right.
So, safe, relatively, yes, but you might have to clear it out again.
How about that shitty bar I went to?
The one whose name I can't remember. I don't know if it even had a name. I don't think it did.
Maybe it's called the Shitty Bar.
Yeah, the one in South Bank slums.
Yeah.
Yeah, you describe it to him, and he nods and says, "I know the place." Good choice. Time?
Maybe an hour or so.
Good. I thought you'd say tonight. Well,
I just need time to lose the tail.
see you then. Turns around and promptly walks away. You look again and see your friends off in the distance. You don't see the Black Blade that was following you. Not sure where, or if maybe got spooked and went another way. What would you like to do?
I would follow them for a few more minutes until I felt safe that he wasn't following them and that he was on me and not them.
Make one more stealth check as you follow them, followed with a perception check to see if you spot him again.
This fucking cork is screwing me.
Oh.
Yeah, man, those dice are weird looking. Is that like this month's reward or something?
Yeah,
Or
like it is tilted or like landed on the cork and then just knocked it over twice.
Now
Yeah,
I gotta look at them.
I'm not sure where those like I have the dice of healing that are red with a cork in them. But I don't. Oh, it's the dice of heroism.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I guess they just showed up in my my dice set.
Do like the liquids inside of the dice move around, or?
Yeah, it moves around and then they make like a little fizzy noise whenever the roll is gone.
Hmm.
If you roll a natural 20, does the cork just explode off?
Maybe.
Probably.
Well, he rolled a 2 on his stealth, so you do spot him again after a minute or so. This time, far side of the street, not far from your friends, seems to be watching them, and doesn't notice you this time. He is walking casually, a thumb tucked into his belt, looking around, but his gaze always returns to them. And he is perhaps looking around for you as well, seeing that you split off from the group. But they still keep him as a solid tail. Yeah.
So can I tell by the way he's like looking if he can see me?
No, he can't. He looks like he's watching them, continuing to follow them, watching them, and looking around for where you might have gone. But has gone with the larger group as opposed to breaking off to try and find you.
Oh, okay. Well, I will cast Alter Self on me. And then kind of push ahead of the group.
What do you alter yourself to look like? Look and sound like, actually.
Just a merchant, a normal person on the street.
I'm fairly certain that alter self doesn't affect your clothing or anything. You can make your cloak look like something else,
Yeah, I was gonna make my cloak look, just normalish.
and just sort of pull it around you to hide the rest of your appearance, or. I think alter self you can make yourself taller or shorter or whatever, but because your clothing doesn't change with you, you really can't you can't get too much bigger without popping buttons.
Right. I can't turn into a 6 foot. I could turn into a 6 foot dwarf.
Your pants wouldn't fit.
Before this campaign is over, I want to see the entire party as 6-foot dwarves.
Delenalia refuses to grow a beard.
Yeah, so you transform yourself in your cloak, and then
So, like I said, I would kind of move ahead of the party, and then I would kind of bump into them, like from the front. and then using like a subtle spell, cast just like a mirror image that just they could see as they're kind of huddled around trying to be unconfused of the guy following them.
Okay. Do you identify yourself to them, or do you just show up as this nondescript merchant guy with a illusion in his hands?
I imagine because Scribble does the whole like illusion things in his hands often enough, we might be able to just tell that it's him.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was banking on, was since they knew that I was looking to see who was following.
Louis gets it with his
Oh, I
natural
know.
20 insight check.
Yeah, okay.
Wasted that.
Rogar gets it.
Come on, Noro, you gotta get it too.
All right.
Noro gets pissed off that someone bumped into someone.
And Noro takes a
Nice.
swing.
Just punches the guy.
I thought about it. I thought about it.
Not bad. Yeah, so Scribble in Disguise appears, before the party, bearing an illusion of a very nondescript looking man. It's a still image of sorts, of a very nondescript man, as I described before. You guys do?
Oh shit. The last Black Blades that were at the tavern, they were hired by Trask, right? That's what he said.
Well,
They
yeah,
were hired by the Crimson Order.
yeah, they were hired by either Trask or superiors. Yeah, I don't think Trask was clear whether he hired them himself or whether he was privy to their hiring, but he definitely knew how much they were paid.
I mean, I'd like to... I don't want to kill him, but I would like to make it so he's not following us to the church.
All right. Noro throws his net at him.
Oh, God.
All right, well, he is 20 feet away. Go ahead and roll initiative. I will, actually, before you roll initiative, let's just throw you guys
Oh, God, we're doing it.
right on the map here.
Nice.
Big giant dudes all over town.
We're invading Dralamar.
And
Meanwhile, at the pond, Lunalia is doing a little bit of bone carving and is like, huh, I suddenly have a really bad feeling. I wonder why.
Don't forget we did have a long rest.
stupid sense, tingling. Somewhere stupid is afoot.
I was doing it in passing, so I wouldn't have like stopped and just been really a part of this.
Yeah, I mean, you could roll initiative if you wanted to, just to see where you fall in the turn order if you decide to act. Otherwise, you can just waive your...
Now that's a waste of a 20. Is there a way to update my health in Roll20? Because it doesn't match my HP.
Really? That's strange. It should. Maybe just tweak your health on your character sheet to see if it'll sync back up. I think the rest of you are okay. Yep, there it goes.
Nice.
Yeah, I think sometimes it just needs a bump.
I think it's because I clicked the long rest button without having Roll20 open.
Oh,
What's your dex there, Rogar?
0? I rolled a 20 though for initiative.
Yeah, just for a tiebreaker between you and the
Oh,
Black Blade.
0.
Yeah. And we got Noro with a 17, eh? Get you on the list here.
Well, but Rogar's should be 20.
Not 12.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
Yeah, that's why I was confused.
It's weird that Noro's doesn't have his image next to it either. It's just
Oh,
on.
For me.
Yeah, it's just on
didn't-
my screen. Dribbles doesn't either. Weird.
Yeah, they all have images to me.
Weird. I don't get it. Let me just nope. Initiatives. Hang on. There.
That's
Yeah.
fine on the stream.
Yeah, it's okay on the stream. It's just on the DM. Weird. Okay. Is there music or background ambience playing or not? Because I'm
Yes, but I can change it to combat.
not. Yeah, because I'm not getting anything on the stream.
Okay.
Try to change it to combat and see if it pops back on.
Will do.
Thank you. So sorry, I'm just waiting for a map to load. Come on. Oh, you know what? I'm not going to bother waiting. Not sure why it's being so slow today.
Pretty accurate city combat music, honestly.
I think it's called something like Rat Combat.
Rat Battle?
Rat Battle.
Rat Battle, yeah.
It's still not playing.
Just reload your page.
Yep, I'm going to have to. There it is. Well, maybe someday somebody will come up with something better than the garbage that is Roll20. Till then. Go. All right. Well, surprise round. What are we doing? Noro, you're throwing a net. Rogar,
Yep.
are you going to take any action, or are you gonna forgo the surprise round?
I will. Can I see that Noro is getting his net ready to throw it at him? I guess if this is all happening at the same time, I'm gonna rush the Black Blade.
Okay.
I'm not drawing a weapon or anything. I'm just gonna like run up to him and I guess try and grapple him.
There is a way that I could handle this without any combat, if you would like me to try. Or I don't know if it's too late for that, but
I'll let Noro make that call since he's the one who's throwing the net.
Noro is the one initiating, I guess.
Yeah.
Rogar would follow after if he sees Noro doing anything.
I'm throwing a nade for distraction, so to tangle him up, and then we decided we're gonna run or we're gonna do something with it. But I guess that opens the door for Louis after I throw the net.
All right, go ahead and make your roll. He's 20 feet away.
All right, I'm gonna move in range. It's only a 15 feet maximum.
Oh, is it? Oh, wow.
That's
Yeah.
one big step for Noro.
Yeah, so Noro turns around, takes a massive step, and the net that, was, I don't know, on your back or a bundle at your belt or whatever comes loose and is flying through the air before anybody realizes it.
I'm not getting an attack, but I imagine it's just like a basic attack.
There should be
That's
a...
disadvantage.
You should be able to roll on it. It's a weapon in your weapons list, is it not?
You might have to equip it.
No, I can see it in his list. It's the bow and arrow symbol to the left of the word net. You just click that, it'll roll on attack. It should roll on attack. It won't roll damage because there is no damage.
Oh my gosh. Well,
A net. This net spreads out, flying through the air, and actually tangles up an elderly woman about 10 feet behind the Black Blade. She goes down to the ground, tangled up in this net, and starts screaming.
Ooh.
There was a bee.
oh my god. Nora just says, now I know why I wasn't picked to go fishing.
We got you now, Grandma.
All right.
I'm just gonna
Rogar,
add to the fact that I fell on the ground too. I did that whole move. All right, everything the release was wrong. Everything went wrong, and I have to recover from this.
all right. Rogar, seeing him throw the net, what do you do?
I'm gonna rush up to the Black Blade and try and grapple him.
All
Be
right.
honest, you're gonna eye roll first.
I'm gonna seriously think about, do I just go help the old lady? Or do I just
No
say,
one's
"Fuck
helping
it"?
Grandma.
I'll like try and tackle the Black Blade.
Louis casts fireball on the net to free her.
No, crispy Grandma.
Uh, 17 athletics. He is going to... bear with me for a second here. He is going to... Oh, actually, Can he... He cannot. Can he?
Surprise round. I don't think he can take reactions.
Yeah.
If
Or
he
act.
hasn't taken a turn yet, then yeah.
Can't move or take an action on your first turn of the combat. Can't take a reaction until that turn ends. Yeah, a contested roll isn't technically a reaction, right? Like, if somebody tries to grapple you, your contest against that doesn't mean you forgo your reaction.
Oh yeah, it's still a contested roll. It's not a reaction.
Yeah, I was thinking, might it be at disadvantage? I'm just gonna roll it. Acrobatics check. No, with a +6, he gets a 9. That's fantastic.
Wow.
The Dragonborn barrels into this man who begins to move with a relatively quick jolt of speed, but Rogar, you're on top of him, and you wrap him up. What are you doing with your second attack?
Because I don't have the feet, I wouldn't be able to restrain unless... Yeah, I'm not able to restrain with a second grapple, am I?
So we kind of chatted about this last week, and I'm okay with house ruling it to give a little bit more advantage to players that want to be creative with grapples. I think a second grapple or a successful grapple from a second person assisting you to restrain somebody should restrain. It just means you're also restrained, which means you can't do anything other than hold him.
Well then.
Is he restrained?
The flip side to that is if he succeeds, he breaks the grapple entirely, right? So that's the risk you take. But I mean, how is he can't even with a natural 20, right? Like, he can't. Even if that was a 20, it would have been a 26. So how do you restrain him? How do you keep him from really doing anything? Because the restrained is quite... well, here, let's just look up the condition.
I guess legs around like his torso and just like
Gonna sit on him?
no, I'll roll over so I'm on my back and he's like facing like the sky. My legs would be wrapped around his like torso and my arms would be I forget what that pin is called. You basically like loop your arms under their arms and then just hold onto the back of their head so they can't do anything.
Yeah, I mean, and you're also, 6 foot 100 and 937,000 pounds and armored, and this guy's like 5'8".
Mm-hmm.
You wrap yourself around him and the both of you go down. And that is it for him, for you as well, unless you can do something with a bonus action.
Nope.
Louis. Attack rolls against this guy have advantage, and he has disadvantage on dex saves, by the way.
In the future, if you want to do this without making a scene, you can let me know, and I can take care of it. But since you already, started this, he'll make a wisdom saving throw or be turned into a box turtle.
Oh, that could work.
A what turtle?
A box turtle, just like a little turtle. Yep, so he's a little turtle. So I walk over to Rogar, who is now hugging Nothin on the ground, and pick up a turtle. And do I see like a bucket or a rain barrel or anything like that around here?
You're muted.
Make a perception check. The better the check, the more interesting thing you find.
Oh,
Jeez.
Well then.
Dude, I'm crushing it with the useless 20s today.
There are all sorts of containers about that you could place this turtle in, ranging from bucket to wash basin, to empty crate. Your choice. What are you looking for?
Like a larger rain barrel or something, so that whenever. So, but something that the turtle will not be able to get out of, but then when he is no longer a turtle, he turns into a guy in a huge barrel soaking wet now.
Oh, yeah, so there is, yeah. At the bottom of a downspout off of a nearby building's rooftop, there is a rather large barrel that is about half full of water.
Cool, so I will just pick him up, and I will dump him in there, and allons-y. Let us go.
And the water's funky. A turtle wouldn't mind it, but a people would.
We have 1 minute to get as far away as we can, and then he will turn back into a man. But maybe we should go, eh?
I'm gonna quickly untie Grandma from the net and then take off.
She is screaming her head off, and as you start to try and remove the net from her, which is firmly binding her, she's beating and scratching at your arms and face, like she's flailing about, just in a ripe panic.
I'm so sorry about all of this.
You begin to see people about, Hey, what's going on? Somebody call for the guards!
Son of a bitch.
And you begin to hear the sound of armored, booted feet off in the distance heading your direction.
Nope, we're going.
As you guys make your exit.
Oh, I'm sorry. It lasts for an hour, so he's going to be chilling as a turtle in that bucket for an hour, and we'll get to wherever we need to get to. And I'll keep concentration the whole time.
Bet there's not an outhouse or anything.
Like I'm happy that that's how this ended, but if the polymorph is how this started, it wouldn't have been nearly as funny.
No, they wouldn't.
No, well, the polymorph wouldn't have been how it started. That was something that I had to do once it was in combat. It would have been something different if it had not just been if we had not been in combat.
Gotcha. Lightning bolt.
Levitate.
Snore gonna get his net back.
Finger of death.
No, I don't want it.
My god.
That's Grandma's net.
I don't. She can have it.
Maybe she can make like some filigree or some shit out of it.
That's
I'm just so
not the
shopping,
first
you get a
time
new
you
net.
used that net, is it?
I think by the party more than 2 times I've been told it's a bad idea to do that, so I refrained from using it until now.
Yeah, they're always at disadvantage.
Yeah.
No, let him figure it out on his own.
Yeah.
Now he knows.
So now the grandma, I was like, gift. It's a gift.
Look, I'm not a huge fan of disparaging player characters with natural ones, but it's so much fun to use a natural one to comic effect, right? And throwing a net on a crowded city street is just amazing. It's a palette on which to paint.
I never missed.
Let's have you guys all make a stealth check as you vacate the scene.
Oh no.
Oh god.
I'm not
No.
trying to be stealthy.
no.
I picked up a turtle, I dropped in a bucket, and I start heading back the way I was going. We are like a 7-foot tall barbarian, a dragonborn in full armor, and a chubby little gnome. We don't hide from things, okay? We do not move discreetly. That doesn't happen. So Louis will not stealth. Will not attempt to stealth.
As true as that is, you do hide from a natural one. So
Oh, thank God.
while your descriptions may have made it to the guards, your actual appearance did not. You do hear a ruckus back from whence you came, and some raised voices and shouts. But the 4 of you moving away quickly was actually enough that they didn't see you. So
I think there was just 3 of us, though, right?
well,
Yeah,
I mean,
I kept going.
okay. Scribble, do you rejoin them at some point, or?
No, I was just gonna wander off and then take it as a distraction from the guy so I can get to my meeting.
Okay, so you're heading off to South Bank,
Yeah.
to the slums. All right. Well, the 3 of you that remain, minus Scribble, you continue heading to your destination, and
Yes.
are you worried at all about your friend's disappearance, or do you just chalk it up to he knows what he's doing?
Hashtag just scribble things.
Rogar will just chalk it up to like maybe he's still off trying to get the other tail off. Like what was it, Dresden? Like maybe he's trying to lose Dresden or talk to him or something, so
Okay.
Rogar thinks Scribble is fine. He is going to turn to the rest of the group. Look, that encounter never happened. We're not going to tell anyone.
Yeah.
Squirrel breaks out a second net.
Yeah. Yes, please.
If we want to remain discreet, just let me know. I can help out with these things maybe a little more subtly than potentially. No offense. I appreciate both of you very much, but I'm just saying that, just maybe we talk about it next time.
Louis, I'm not the smartest dragonborn, so I will leave the thinking to you from now on. I just act.
But it's all good.
I have an intelligence of 8.
I do not believe that woman was hurt very much.
Poor grandma.
Oh, it was amazing. All right. Well, the three of you arrive at your destination after weaving through city streets into the South Bank Commons. You see in the distance the familiar statue of the the once great paladin, sword raised high, and into the now familiar, relatively humble square marble building. Within, you find Chrono, robed, eyes glowing softly as usual. He just bows slightly as you enter. Friends, welcome again. I trust you were successful?
Yes, we managed to free the Genasi, and I believe we've told you what the plan was. They're currently on a boat out in the bay.
Yes, I look forward to seeing them. Our doors are always open. But something else troubles you, Rogar. And he kind of looks at the other two, and takes a step away from the party.
I'll make this simpler. We took care of a majority of the Red Robe Wizards, the Crimson Order. We believe Lysarin should be safe enough to return back to his shop now, as I'm sure he will be very happy to hear.
Ah, good. Well, I will fetch him for you then. And he looks into a shaded entryway into a back room and snaps his fingers. You see that short, heavily armored woman with the perpetually grumpy face snap to attention and then turn and down a flight of stairs. As you're talking, a couple minutes later, Lysarin is brought forward. Yeah, he steps out into the light of the courtyard here, blinking at the bright morning light. Oh, hello.
Hello again, Lysarin.
I trust things went well.
Yes, we believe it should be safe enough for you to return back to your shop.
So soon?
We took care of the Crimson Order. Turns out there were two sides to the Crimson Order, and we brought light to it, to the right side, I guess.
Indeed, well, I will take you at your word. Must say I'm eager to return home. You're certain that they want nothing of me?
They haven't made any mention of you. Not to mention they've got bigger problems in their hands right now.
Well, I will gather my things and perhaps and he kind of looks at Louis and then up at Noro, and he looks back to Louis and says, perhaps we could catch up on our way back. Would it be too much for me to ask for an escort back to my home?
Louis and Lunalia, I believe, need spell components, so I think they were coming to find you anyways.
Oh, yes, not a problem at all, and there is a matter of the coin for the dragon parts. Of course, I we had a deal before all of this happened. Yes. I would be happy to conduct some business after all of this excitement. It would be nice to get back to normal. Louis, perhaps you could accompany me back to my home.
But of course, and our friend Noro will join us as well to make sure there is no trouble at all. We can go to your home. There are some things that we require that may be at your shop, peut-être. I do not know, but whatever you want, we're happy to escort you to where you need to go.
Excellent, excellent. And perhaps you can fill me in on what all has happened with the Order. I'm curious to know what has gone on with them. I had some concerns after our encounter. Come.
Of course.
Let's go. Noro, you're left with the decision to Rogar. I'm imagining you're going to stay here for a bit, and Noro, you're left with the decision of who to follow.
I gotta go get this pearl dust.
The pearl!
Amazing.
He's so distraught about the net throw. It was so bad. He's
Lysarin
He's gonna get a bag of sand. I just
Lysarin just looks at you, and he's gonna make an Arcana check.
I'm like mumbling to myself, pearl dust.
Pearl
Diamond
dust
pearl.
is strange. Although I'm not certain. Are you purchasing something for one of your friends or for yourself?
She told me the name. Just give me a second. Dust.
Gem
Diamond
dust,
dust.
perhaps. Diamond dust.
Dust.
Well, my friend, you are in luck. I do happen to have a rather ample supply.
Slow clap and eye roll from Louis.
He looks to he glances to Louis and says, "Perhaps you should buy components for your friends from now on."
This makes Noro feel important. He's doing a great job, oui?
He just kind of sighs and eye rolls himself. Well, my friends, come, we have much to discuss. And he turns to Rogar and bows deeply.
Rogar will just bow in return.
I am in your debt, sir. I am indebted to you and all of your friends for what you've done. And for bringing me to this place. A fine refuge it served me. And he goes to Chrono and just sort of grabs his hand and, an arm, and I thank you. I have never felt more safe than here. And he turns and follows the other two out. Rogar, you are left here with Chrono. A slight smile on his face. You can see him beaming from the good deed that he's done.
Rogar would explain kind of everything that happened at the house, like the whole fight with the Crimson Order, the things we saw down in the basement, the weird fiend thing that we fought. Although Rogar didn't see it himself, he would make mention of what Lunalia and Louis saw in the caves, the scribblings and everything, and that another member of the Crimson Order had a mark of Orcus.
Yeah, I think that, Louis and Lunalia would have fully debriefed Rogar, knowing that he was going to talk to Chrono about this. This is obviously some divine summoning magic. We think it might be tied in with the balefire that we had heard about. We would have been very explicit to Rogar about what we found and what our concerns were.
Come.
But it's up to Rogar if he conveys that to Chrono or not.
I would try and convey as much as Rogar would be able to remember or comprehend.
Yeah, I think it cheapens it to to make you roll like an intelligence check or something to do that. It's enough that I don't know. Too many dice rolls cheapens things and it blocks the progress of the story. But once Chrono listens to your somewhat patchwork recalling of the previous night's events and the place you discovered, he says, "Come, let us speak in private about this. There are things that other ears should not hear." And he takes you into a small office of sorts that has a couple of low marble benches and just a very, very plain writing desk that he sits behind. And he says, "Please, have a seat." He leans heavily on the desk. "I have also discovered some things based on information you have given me and some research. This balefire is familiar, is similar to another thing, an evil vestige of a fallen god. Now that you speak of Orcus and those who follow him, the pieces are falling into place. The breath of Orcus is a vestige of the Prince of Undeath himself. A piece left over when the god fell. Was once a powerful lord of the Abyss, ruling an entire abyssal plane for himself before he fell at the hands of another god. Some theorize that he remains, as no god truly ever dies. They reincarnate. They fall to lower stations. They are never gone forever. But such things are beyond mortal concern. What concerns me, this vision. I've preyed on it. The Platinum Dragon has seen fit for me to share vision. And I am certain things are still in motion, or I would not have seen the worst. And you can see his eyes dim and his face turn sorrowful at the memory of such a vision.
Was it the same as the vision we told you about, or was there something different?
Same. Green flame rolling through the streets, burning all in its path. Their charred bodies rising. But more. In the middle of the city, Market Square. Dark figure cloaked with giant demon wings. Laughing. His face hidden beneath a deep hood. Shadow. His laugh haunts me still. Wings stretched, rose from the ground into the sky. Flames spiraling around him. That is all I saw, but terrified me.
I should mention that I've been feeling, I suppose, sick to my stomach a couple of times throughout the city. I didn't know what it was at first until we ran into that creature down in the basement of the manor house. I think I've been feeling or sensing the evil from fiends or demons, or just bad. I don't really know how to describe it.
Describe the creature to me. Yeah, you can just... you give him
Rogar would try and describe as much as possible.
Yeah, you give him your best description of it. And fortunately, somehow, I seem to have lost it. Oh god. Oh, there it is. The page finally loaded. Let's see. Snow. What the hell? No, I have actually lost the token for it. There it is. I got it. Let's see if he knows what.
You get crit so many times in a row, your token just dies.
Yep. The demon you describe sounds like a Hezru. A, foot soldier of the Abyss. Not of too much concern. And from what you say, you and your friends dispatched it easily, but summoned here within the city. Do not like it. And you felt this at other times as well.
Correct. One was at one was at the tavern when I was focusing through a doorway that seemed odd. And another was when we were brought to a garrison for one of our members to talk to the person of coin. I forget what his actual title is. Master of coin, there we go.
Are you certain it was he who made you feel like this?
I don't know if it was him in particular. It was just when he was there. I didn't get to see the actual Master of Coin myself. We were in a separate room, but I got that weird, unnerving feeling in the pit of my stomach. It seemed to radiate from above me, and only went away when my friend returned.
And tell me, what do you feel here?
Should I make a roll? Because I don't know what Rogar would feel like.
Come with me. He gets up and leads you back out into the courtyard. Which, due to your recent efforts, is a little nicer, a little more cleaned up than perhaps the first time you saw it. It still needs a fair amount of work, but it also looks like someone or someone's else has spent a little time, trimming hedges and tending to the overgrowth of weeds in the flower beds here, and scrubbing some of the moss off of the fountain. He takes you to a quiet corner of the courtyard, where the grassy the grassy floor of the courtyard here is lush and soft, and he says, "Here, kneel here, place your sword before you. Close your eyes, and open yourself up to what you feel around you. And then tell me what you feel."
I guess I would do that then.
What is your charisma modifier?
It would be +2.
Okay. You close your eyes, and at first the sound of peasants shouting and the click and clack of wagon wheels on cobblestone in the distance, just the sounds of the city from outside the walls of this place, stream in through windows and archways, assailing your senses. But after a while, the din begins to dull away. You hear the sound of birds chirping in the distance. Leaves turning in a gentle breeze. The sound of the first few drops of rain as clouds roll by. You take a deep breath and you can smell the foliage about you. And as your mind sort of clears and your senses open up to what's the unseen about you in between what you can see, hear, or smell, there is something warm about this place. Something different. In your mind's eye, you look up and you can see or imagine a silver column of light that surrounds this building. And as it clarifies in your mind, it changes from a column of light to massive wings, draconic wings of silver wrapped around this building. You open your eyes and you look about, and the air smells sweeter, the grass underfoot is softer. There is something holy about this place, and you can feel it. You are on hallowed ground. And I need you to mark off one charge of Divine Sense.
I feel warm and at peace here, I suppose. It feels comforting and safe.
Chrono smiles and nods. You feel the dragon's protection, his wings about this place. Someday.
At first it only looked like a pillar of light, but yeah, it looked like his wings wrapped around the entire building.
Someday, perhaps you will see his wings encircle the world. For he protects all. And he looks up at the sky. Someday. But you are young yet. So, tell me, what will you do next with this new sense?
I suppose, well, my friends would like to go back into that manor to investigate these tunnels, see where they lead, see how far they go, like if they encircle the entire city or what we can find in there. I was kind of wondering if you would like to come with us. The wizard of our group couldn't really tell what the markings were on the walls in that tunnel. He said it was more akin to religious scrawlings.
Your wizard friend is too smart for his own good. His mind is filled with formulas and sigils. Need to open your mind and feel the world about you, the good and the evil. It is simple, it is there. I will come if you desire, but I believe, Rogar, you have what you need already. You will know if that place is desecrated. You will know if fiends or other evils lurk within. And if it is as you described to me, is linked at all to these who follow Orcus, it must be destroyed. For it is of no good purpose.
Right. The remaining Crimson Order, the ones that had no idea where this whole thing was going on, or had no dealings of this, should we tell them about the tunnels, or should we try and deal with it ourselves?
Do you trust them like you trust me?
Not even close, honestly.
Then I believe you have your answer. For this path you walk, this evil you pursue, is like none other. It threatens our very existence. Take with you only those you trust. Share with only those who believe as you do.
Thank you. And I might take up that training session with Zerikin, now that I'm thinking about it. It might do me some good.
Yes, I wonder where my friend is. You have the sword he guarded. Why is he still there? Perhaps, now that things are settled, I will go find him. I sense you could use some guidance. More than my words.
Well, I should probably catch up with my friends if we're going to investigate these tunnels.
Yes, good. They are probably bored. Sharing memes in Discord and such.
What is this Discord you speak of?
It's like sending, but, worse. He says, I will remain here. I will collect these other refugees that are on their way. And I will reach out to you and your friends when they've arrived. We can decide together where to send them next. Although, if you believe they are safe now, that you've dealt with those who pursued them, tell me and I will have them go. We'll send them on their way with... I think I have enough to send them on their way with some means for travel. A small amount of coin each. I've managed to collect some offerings over the years.
Oh, I could help with that as well, if you'd like.
Do let me know what you find under the city. I have already put out a call to others. Others who follow his way. They will be arriving over the next days and weeks. I know not how many, but perhaps enough to help.
I will let you know.
Bahamut's blessings be with you.
And you as well. And I guess I will head to Lucaren's shop.
Alright. Those of you who went with Luceren, RP or skip ahead? Up to you guys. Totally up to you guys.
I mean, I think we trust Luceren pretty much, so I'm happy to just kind of bring him up to speed.
Okay. You catch him up on, however much you want to share with him. He is, overwhelmingly thankful for all that you've done to help him. He admits at first that he thought it was your fault that he got tangled up in the, with the Crimson Order, but realized quickly that it was actually Keldrum they were after. He inquires as to Master Aloro's well-being, and I believe he, you guys told him about, well, no, he's well aware of the missing spellbook as well, right? Of Paramon's missing spellbook. Like, that's one of the things that you came looking for. I believe you told him that's one of the things you were after from Keldrum, right?
I am not
so.
sure.
I think
I
so.
just don't know that it came up. But yeah, if you guys think so, then probably.
I mean, it's
but
easy
not like
enough
we would have asked him for it. We know that Keldrum had it.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, I got this buyer, and it happens to be Keldrum. I don't know if that came up, the spellbook itself, though.
Well, he and Paramon are friends, so, I mean, I think it's reasonable to say if you guys didn't talk to him about it, then Paramon would have mentioned it to him as well. In a sending spell.
I think we probably brought up that Keldrum had something of a friend of ours.
Mm-hmm.
And that was one of the reasons why we wanted to, meet him and talk to him.
So he would ask you guys, did Master Keldrum survive? Is he alright? Were you able to find him?
Oui, he did survive. He's a little beat up, I guess he thinks that a mind flayer chewed on him for a bit. But,
God, that sounds terrible.
I know. Those things are weird.
In the city? An illithid in the city?
Oui, apparently. But we did not see it. I do not know.
Terrifying. Were you... Pardon me sounding so, inconsiderate, but were you able to close your business with Master Aloro?
Oui, we did get the spellbook back. I think there are some more conversations that we wanted to have with him.
And the Fundamentum, did he procure it from you?
Oui, we did give it to him.
Excellent. He claps his hands together. Another deal done. Well, as exciting as I wish it weren't, I'm glad that we were able to close our business deals. And to the matter of the coin I owe you, and please bear with me for a moment. And retires to a back room and comes back with a number of strips of platinum, totaling the money he owed you, which I'm looking up.
6,000.
Yeah, that sounds right. Yep, 600 platinum pieces for the remaining 2 horns, heart, 6 claws, and 2 pints of dragon's blood. However you guys want to divvy up 6,000 more gold. It's up to you.
Wow.
It is in platinum trade bars, but here in the city, that can easily, outside of session, you can walk into any lending house or bank and change it. Or yeah, like Louis said there, just give yourselves each 120 platinum, and you're done.
I was actually hoping to maybe give some of this back to you for a few things that I need.
Well, of course, I will. I'd be happy to procure for you anything you're looking for. Whatever I don't have, I assure you I'll be able to find within a day or two from various sources about the city and other places. So if you want to, I don't know if you want to message me a list or what, like if you've got, or if you want to just read it out to me, I'll tell you if there's anything that he doesn't have. He's basically going to have just about anything on whatever list of spell reagents you're looking. If you're looking for something a little more exotic, it might take him a day or two.
For me, I really only need 2 things. I'm just going through my spell list and double checking.
But these are all just going to be wizard spell reagents.
Yeah. Yeah. Is it? I need a gold inlaid vial worth at least 400 gold. And then I need a shit ton of incense. I think. Let me see how much money I have. Probably like 1,500 gold worth of incense, and then also 4 ivory strips worth 50 gold each.
All right. All of these are pretty standard fare for wizard spells. He would have the 1,500 gold worth of incense.
Yeah.
That is a lot of incense.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes, and
For the incense, he asks you, is the incense something that you need today? That is a large quantity. I might need to procure some more to fill that order.
If you have some, I would take some of it now, some of it later, whatever works.
All right. He produces 500 gold worth of incense and tells you the other 1,000 will be available in 2 days.
Okay. And then does he have a gold vial and strips of ivory?
Yes. As far as the incense goes, you can just give him the coin now, and we'll hand wave the rest of it. It's just like if you were looking to use all of it in the next day or two, you'd only have access to that first 500.
It's like procuring.
Yeah, you're stocking up.
Yeah, exactly.
Then you got it. It's I mean, might as well just write it down. Just be aware you can't use it all in the next 2 days. Only use a third of it. And that's it. For the diamond dust, he produces enough. He produces 200 gold worth of diamond dust in small silken satchels that he kind of holds out in Noro's direction, but he's looking at Louis.
Louis doesn't take it.
He looks back at Noro and he says, "You understand this is for use by someone casting spells, yes? It's not for eating, it's not for throwing. Don't lose it, it's very valuable."
Diamond dust, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I got it.
It's like two little silk
that-
pouches of it.
That's the one.
Oh.
And I grab it and I put it in my bag.
How big is each silk pouch?
I mean, 200 gold worth of diamond dust. It can't be very much, right? Like a 200 gold diamond is small. It fits in the palm of your hand. So that turned to dust, it'd be like a small dice bag or smaller. Like I imagine the size of a tea bag.
Yeah, that's what I picture. It's like when you buy cocaine, when you're just buying it enough for, a couple of hits. That's all you need. It's just one of them tiny Ziploc bags.
Little tenor.
What are those tiny Ziploc bags called? Do they have their own name?
I don't know, but you can buy them at the craft store. Michael sells them. I got a whole bunch.
Oh, I know. That's I'm sure that's where all the drug dealers go to get them.
I use them
they're
for
dime
pills.
bags.
Yeah, I use them for pills
there
and
used to be dime bags, but nothing is a dime anymore. That has no significance whatsoever. But
yeah.
But I guess you could put dimes in it. You use them as coin bags. I don't know. Anyway.
You'd have to have some problems to have like individually plastic bagged coins in your wallet or whatever.
I'm talking about as a collector.
Yeah, I mean there's actually put them in an actual like coin sheet.
anyway,
yeah. So two little sachets of
What's
diamond
a
dust.
sachet?
I don't know.
diamond dust.
Sachet? I don't know how
What's
to.
a sachet?
Whatever. Satchel. Two little satchels. Tiny mouse-sized satchels.
Noro, don't lose my stuff. It's not salt. Don't sprinkle it on a sandwich.
You grind your teeth a little on that. Give you a good
Stomach's
polish.
grumbling.
And he takes the 200 gold. I don't know if you even had it written down or if.
I did.
Oh, there you go. So go ahead and strike that off. He says, "Is there anything else any of you are after?" You have anything you'd like identified, or perhaps you have some long-term plans you'd like me to look into procuring some things for?
Nope.
would you be interested in maybe purchasing a like a pearl of power?
Oh. Well, not for myself. I already have one, but I certainly would be able to find a buyer for you. Yes, I would take it off your hands.
Yeah, I leave it here with you, and whenever you sell it, just let me know.
No, good sir. I'll pay you for this now. I'll find someone to take it off my hands later. 300 gold pieces sound fair to you?
Oui, that sounds parfait. Merci beaucoup.
We have a deal then. He takes it off your hands and hands you, let's say 30 platinum pieces. He doesn't deal in gold, he platinum because he's rich.
Well, I gave him 2,100 gold pieces, so I will take platinum back, though.
And there you go. Scribble. You make your way back to that very, very seedy looking tavern in South Bank slums. Down winding streets and to the signless, nameless place that smells of stale beer and piss.
Hell yeah.
The same rough-looking bartender is there. The same mugs of swill, and a few of the same patrons that you saw last time, looking just as, down on their luck and sorrowful as they did last time. here at like 10 in the morning. You do not, however, see Silas here, but it is still probably a little early.
Is there any like secluded booths or anything?
There's a table in the back, sort of around a corner. The main room is kind of L-shaped, and so there is a corner sort of out of sight of the door, lit only by a dim lantern on the table. This place has no windows in the main room. It's very dank. Then you do find it empty.
I will walk over, or start walking over to that table.
You grab a drink or anything, or you just walk in and straight to the table?
I'm just gonna walk in straight to the table,
All right.
and then as I'm walking by, like when the bartender looks at me, altered self, I can change my appearance.
Like, you're going to change your appearance as he's watching?
I just want to change my arm, like to show like a black blade tattoo on it,
Oh, cool.
and then just go sit at the table so he leaves me alone.
You still look like the merchant guy.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Make an intimidation check with advantage. His eyes narrow and he just nods. But it doesn't seem to faze him. This is the third natural 20 I've rolled tonight.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah, you want to talk about throwaway 20s? Yeah. 2 on Dresden and 1 here.
It wasn't meant necessarily as intimidation, more of like the first time I was there, like he kind of looked back over that direction whenever I asked about him. As if like that's where they would have sat, I thought.
You are left alone at the table around the corner. You wait another half hour or so, and you hear footfalls on the planks of the main floor. And before too long, you see a hooded, cloaked figure moving your way. As he rounds the corner and sees you, there is a flash of yellow beneath his hood as you see his eyes gleam and change color, and then the glow fades. Ah, my feathered friend. How good to see you. Silas pulls the hood back. He walks over, pulls the chair out across the table, and sits down. You can...
I was told you was to speak with me.
You can drop the disguise if you wish. You're not fooling anyone here. Well, certainly not me.
It would have dropped, because it only lasts an hour.
Ah. Oh, okay, so when he walked in, you weren't...
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Alright, well then. Then his eyes didn't flash. So, what is it you were looking to chat about this fine morning? Care to catch me up on any of the mischief you've been up to?
I was told you were looking to speak with me.
Well, straight to business then. That lovely little gem that you wore around your neck there when you met with our mutual friend, Unfortunately, he did not reveal much other than the man you spoke to was not him, or at least was not exactly him. You see, Ham and Sam is notoriously hard to meet in person, hiding behind illusions, doppelgangers, simulacra. I believe the man you met with was one such ruse. I am admittedly tired of this little cat and mouse game that him and I play, even when we were aligned in our business dealings. He never showed his true face to me. Yet I did to him. And I just can't abide by that. It must be mutual trust between business partners, don't you agree?
Maybe trust isn't the word. More respect.
Ask the question that you and others so dearly want the answer to. I want you and I to trust each other, so I want you to ask me what I am. Well, tell me that you do not care. I'll take you at your word.
I'm not too concerned with what you are. It wouldn't change anything.
The smile on his face grows. White, polished, pearly white teeth are exposed. A little more pointed than they should be. Well then, you do intrigue me, sir. You see, I'm a man who makes deals with people. People in need. Tend to be the only kind I do business with, but you don't seem to need anything from me. And yet, continue to parley with me. So, perhaps we enter into a deal with no contract, wherein you and I do business as it suits us from time to time. We seem to have a common enemy. Unless you are playing him as you play me. I want Ham and Sam gone. He's the very embodiment of a lie. Chaos in a fancy robe. I despise his lack of morals, his lack of honor. The man has no code. The very opposite of a gentleman. The city has no use for his kind. I intend to expose him, but I have a problem. Because of what I am, and who I do business with, well, I'm not seen as an upstanding gentleman, even though I assure you, I very much am. You have a habit of surrounding yourself with people. Some of them even have reputations better than yours, which I do believe we will need if you and I are to unmask Ham and Sam for what he truly is. I'd like to expose him. Have him disappear. But so far he's rendered himself untouchable. I'd like to hear if you're interested, and if you are, I'd like to hear what plan you might have to do such a thing.
Well, it's your game. I would think you would be the one with the plan.
Well, we can start with you getting that sparkly little gem I gave you closer to the real thing. I believe the man you spoke to recently was an illusion. Tell me, did you touch him? Did you bump into him? Did you see him handle anything?
Yeah, nasty meats.
I watched him catch a sending stone that I threw at his face.
Oh, now that is interesting. Not the spell I thought it was. But an illusion nonetheless. Simulacrum, perhaps. I should not put it past him. Coin involved in such a spell is well within his reach. Tell me, you've recently been involved in some other affairs that are adjacent to his dealings. Have you learned anything about him, or any of his holdings?
Nothing too much. He was obviously working with the Crimson Order. His whatever, him or his illusion or himself, said that they caused him problems, so he no longer works with them or will protect them. I'm not too concerned with it either way.
And did you find anything there in, Alia's old home? Anything interesting? Anything, that might help us with our, mutual problem?
The usual pit with some robed figures chanting, a giant thing crawling out of a hole.
Intriguing. All of them dead, I suppose, if you've left your mark the way you do.
It wasn't too imposing.
Well, you continue to impress me.
So this vendetta you have with Ham and Sam, is it strictly between you and him, or is it your organization?
Well, my organization is not much to speak of as of yet. Thanks mainly to his efforts. Would have been, had he not intervened. Personal gain. We could have built something truly grand. But he thought to do what he did. And now he is what he is. And I am here. He looks around the very, very seedy tavern you're in. In the shadows. Which is where I suppose I do the best business, but still. He set me back decades in my work. I will not forget that.
You consider this the shadows?
I'm sorry. I did not mean to offend.
I'm not offended by your ignorance. Would you have rather met somewhere in the shadows and then been followed or watched by one of Hammond's men like before?
Oh, I'm not too concerned with them watching me here. I've brought my own men. Make sure the shadows are empty.
And I hope they're better at being in the shadows than the Black Blade earlier.
Don't you worry. So, where do we go next, my friend?
Well, if you've got a plan to expose, then you can let me know what it is, and I'll see what I can do.
Keep trying with that gem. That's the key. That'll tell me what he truly is.
So it does notify you.
In a roundabout's way. It does a few other fun things as well, but prefer to leave those a surprise.
So that thing was a fiend, right? In the basement.
Mhm.
So wouldn't it have like notified?
Maybe, maybe not. You're not entirely sure how
Okay.
it works.
All right. Well, if you come up with something, let me know. But
I
don't go
will.
too far. You do still owe me.
I tell you what. I will do my utmost to find some way to put him in his presence again soon. If I can arrange that, perhaps that'll help us along. Mind you, it might be a little more public than what you prefer.
I'm sure it can't be too bad.
We'll see. Till then, enjoy your shadows. He stands up and pulls the hood back over his horns. Flashes you a pearly white smile. You need anything else from me? My boys are around. They know how to find me.
Good luck on that plan.
He walks out.
So, do I get any sense of if he has any type of actual idea?
You can make an insight check. He is certain, and he's not revealing.
He is certain that he has an idea that'll work or something.
He is certain of what Ham and Sam is, but he's,
Okay.
and he's not sharing it with you. But he's looking for you to procure evidence, and that magical gem is the key to procuring that evidence. You're not sure what it'll do when you meet the true Ham and Sam, or what it'll capture. What will it capture? An image of his true appearance, or will it dispel an illusion, or will it summon a bunch of bad dudes to kill him suddenly, or you don't know what it'll do. But that's what he's after. He's after the real evidence to back up what he already knows.
Okay.
With that insight check, you know that he already knows, and he just doesn't have the evidence to prove it.
Sounds good.
Lunalia, back at the Minted Terrace at the Thornton Estate. While your friends are gone, are you doing anything to keep an eye on people? Are you sneaking in anywhere, turning into a bug or a mouse or whatever, and going and having a look around? Or
She's not sneaking into anywhere. She's, making rounds outside, keeping an eye on who might be coming or going.
Mm-hmm.
But she's wandered around inside, to the places that she's allowed to go. And she's popped her head in a couple of times on Keldrum and Ember to make sure that they're still there, they're still being treated okay.
Yeah, so outside of the private stateroom that they're in, there are two robed members of the Crimson Order watching them. There are also faint traces of glimmering arcane sigils on the door, you know, the door frame, and actually like scrawled into the walls, you know, in the hallway and about the room. It appears to be like you wouldn't likely know what it is, but it's enough for you to know the room is heavily warded.
Mm-hmm.
And you could surmise that it's to prevent him from, you know, from teleporting away or whatever.
Right.
Because he's not, you know, he's not shackled, and he's left with his spell book and you know, everything else. Like they both seem to be just guests at this point, that just aren't allowed to leave. You look in on them, and he is, you know, at least in the middle morning, he's still asleep. She is ever vigilant, watching him, you know, from a quiet spot in the corner of the room. And when you look in on them, she just kind of stares at you.
She's not... I don't know that she would speak to Ember while he's not awake. She would go over to him, though, and make sure that, you know, he's okay. She would touch to verify it's not an illusion.
When you do that, she straightens up and goes like she's gonna take a step towards you, but then just stops and watches.
I just want to make sure he hasn't been replaced.
What do you mean? Nobody's been in or out of here.
No, but it's possible he's been in or out. I'm just making sure he is what he looks like. And that he's still here.
She smiles. He tried that. The room's warded. They aren't letting us leave.
I'm sure you could leave if you'd like.
Well, wards don't tend to work so well when the walls they're inscribed on burn.
No, I meant I'm sure you'd be free to come and go. It's him, really, they want prisoner, isn't it?
They know I won't leave him. He wouldn't leave me, I... him.
I wouldn't be leaving. It was... Do you not need to procure travel for yourselves or make plans?
Oh, no, they've made it clear that he's coming with them for as long as it takes for him to undo what he's done.
I see.
She just stares at you, those yellow eyes boring into.
Do you remember your previous life? What it was like to be what you were before this?
More than I'd like to. She gets real quiet when she says that. No one should ever have to live like we lived. My brother doesn't remember like I do. Kaldrum rescued us from that life. Showed us something better, showed us everything. Someday I'll go back and burn that place to the ground. All of it.
Who did this to you? I was under the impression that Kaldrum did it.
Her eyes narrow. It was our savior. He took us out of that terrible place and showed us the better life. People did this to me. people of this world. You don't see them for what they really are, do you? How terrible people are.
Of course I do. But not all people are terrible.
Enough of them are.
So Kaldrum had no hand in creating what I see before me. You were like this when he found you?
She looks at her hands. Oh. Oh, this. Oh, no, this was all him. And I'm thankful for it. He showed me a new way to live, gave me... She snaps her fingers and a flame appears between her fingertips. Power that... Well, I couldn't comprehend at first. Power to change things. Power to be whatever I wanted to be. And to make whatever I don't like go away. Forever. No, I'm eternally thankful for what he did, even if Ignis isn't. That's his problem. I am transformed. I am something more than I ever was. I will never, ever let anything happen to me or anyone I care about ever again.
Why do you think your brother feels so different?
He doesn't understand. He doesn't remember our life before. At least he doesn't want to. I never want to forget it. Made me what I am.
How much of this is Lunalia buying? If I
Depends
roll
on your insight check. Throw some rocks. Well, that's not bad. The DM has not rolled deception. She is being honest, but you know, as with anybody when they talk, she's speaking somewhat cryptically. You know enough to know that you know that the two of them were street urchins, and you know the story goes that Kaldrum rescued them from the streets and you know adopted them, and then did experiments on them and turned them into genasi, exposing them to you know planar energies. She seems to be very you know righteously militant about you know, being into those powers that he gave her and wanting to use them to make change. But should be a little worried that she's so intent on, you know, talking about making bad things go away forever and, you know, going back and burning it all. Like, that's not normal.
Well, it depends on your level of trauma.
Mm-hmm.
So, am I to understand that you grew up on the streets of this city?
No, not for me. Far to the south. Another land.
What do you know of his memory lapses? He seems to not to have been aware of, for instance, Paramon trying to contact him, or other instances that he seems unaware of that he really should be.
He's been through a lot. He's been distracted of late. His work.
It seems to me it's a little bit more than just forgetfulness or the stresses of the job.
Yeah, so I did roll a deception check there, and you're smelling bullshit now with sight check. I'm worried about him too. He hasn't been the same.
You wouldn't be hiding anything from him, would you?
We all hide things from the ones we love. To protect them. I'm sure he hides things from me. Speaking of hiding things, have you seen my brother? Recently?
Not recently.
Are you sure about that?
I've not seen him here in the city.
Me. Well, one can hope. He does have something that we desperately need.
What if he's unwilling to give it to you?
Then I'll convince him. He
What if he
shouldn't have
doesn't
taken
have
it.
it?
It wasn't his to take.
Maybe it was left for him.
No, he took it.
Kaldrum doesn't seem bothered by it. Why are you?
Kaldrum is wrapped up in his tinkerings. Doesn't realize that it's the key to unlock the next step. His experiments. I know it.
Well, I hope for Kaldrum's sake everything works out in the end. I'll check in on him later.
I'm sure you will. Let him rest. He's been through a lot.
Yeah, so she'll leave and she'll go back on her, trip around the building.
All right. The Crimson Order's acolytes here. You get long glances from some of them. The majority of them remain masked. Although Nazak Trask does appear more often without his hood up or mask on. Eventually, Kreneth Voss shows himself after having slept in most of the morning. You actually you see him on his way from his private chamber to the kitchen, and he turns and nods at you, and you can see dark circles under his eyes. His skin is gaunt, and he looks like an old man who did not get enough sleep and was up torturing people until the hours of the morning, which is exactly what he was doing. He just turns and nods at you. I trust you and your friends slept well.
As well as can be expected.
Good. And I've been informed the others have gone off.
But they'll be
Shopping
back.
something.
They'll be back sometime this afternoon.
See. And how is Master Aloro? I trust you've looked in on him.
I have. He's resting.
Would you care to enlighten me as to your relationship with him? It might help.
No, I'd rather not.
Let's see. Perhaps I'll get further speaking with the gnome. And he just turns and walks off.
Lenalia's going to go back outside and do, a perimeter check, and then she'll head to the pond. And she would like to make a phone call.
Oh?
Yeah, she's got, a pocket full of sending stones.
All them burner phones.
Yeah, she can make sure that nobody is, keeping a real sharp eye on her. And she'll pull out one of the sending stones. And she will say, hopefully you remember me. I'm currently in Dralamar. With your sister and your father nearby. I think we should meet. Send me a time and a location. That's it.
All right. There is a long pause. I'm not there, but can be soon. Meet me on the rocks below the cauldron, the lighthouse. A small boat will get you there.
A boat.
I look forward to hearing what you know. Tonight. That's it.
Okay. Yeah, she's just going to continue to keep an eye out and, periodically check inside.
All right.
Until they get back.
Well, I think we can fast forward to that if nobody has any further business, and I'll just move the token app and party token. Just so you guys know, I'm only looking to go like another half hour or so tonight, unless things get cray or you guys want to go further.
Or Nora kicks somebody, or
Yeah,
Someone throws another net.
Combat is always an option, you guys. It's always,
Well, if Nora bought the wrong stuff, it will be.
Well, unfortunately, he did buy the right stuff. The rest of the group eventually makes their way back to the Minted Terrace, showing the merchants tokens that you received this morning at the gate. You are grudgingly allowed through. Your appearance does not match the usual type that would come into this place, but at the same time, there are a wide variety of needs within the affluent district, and the guards might give you a side eye, but they wouldn't risk angering a noble house. So you make your way back. As you approach the Thornton estate, you do see what might be a little bit surprising number of city guard in the area. Certainly more than you saw this morning. But well, it's a surprising number. Strolling down the street, standing on street corners, seemingly concentrated more around the Thornton estate than anywhere else in the terrace. And it is, a fair walk from the gate to there, so you see the guard presence increase as you get closer. But no one stops you. No one stands in your way. And as you reach the front gate, which is left unlocked and swings open at a push, up the front stairs you do see a pair of red-robed acolytes at the door. They both nod and open the doors for you. Within, it's not long before you find Kreneth Voss. Looking a little more recovered than he did when Lunalia met him, but still somewhat gaunt and tired looking. And I guess Lunalia, you'd probably be somewhere where you might hear your friends approach and meet up with them.
Oh, I'm glad to see you're back. Did you have any luck, Noro?
Yes, I got your pearl dust. Here you go.
I hope that is a joke. She's gonna open it and have a look. She's never seen diamond dust before.
I just hand over the pouches.
She's just gonna look at Louis. Louis, this is diamond dust, isn't it?
As much as it would bring me joy if it was not, it is exactly what you need.
Excellent. Thank you, Noro.
You're welcome. Now, has Rogar been cooking?
He's been away, same as you.
He's been with you guys.
Came back with you guys.
Yeah, he would have caught up with you at
Okay.
Laceran's place maybe in an hour after, like right around the end of you guys dealings with Laceran. Rogar would have shown up.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought he went back to base.
No, I went to Laceran's first to catch up with you guys.
Excellent. Any new findings?
None that we should really speak about here.
Yeah, sorry. Like you guys do have a chance to catch up before you. With Kreneth Voss, I didn't mean to push you into that or make you think that you didn't have any privacy. Like, he definitely lets you catch up and adjourn to somewhere else in the house to chat or whatever before you.
So how much do y'all share of your conversations? I think, Scribble had some interesting things. Well, Scribble, Rogar, and Lunalia all have interesting things that they learned, right?
Yeah, I mean, she would fill in her feelings on what is going on between the two of them, how Ember is giving her the distinct no feeling. She wouldn't maybe mention the phone call, but everything else she would be open with.
Rogar would be pretty open with everything.
So what...
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead, Lucid.
No, I thought Rogar was talking.
Is Chrono with you guys?
No.
So what have we learned then? Lunalia thinks that Ember is being deceitful. Rogar, what did you learn?
Rogar learned that he can discern whether something is hollowed or corrupted. Like if it's been tainted.
That's pretty rad. What do we do if we find that something has been corrupted or tainted?
I mean, Rogar does still have those 4 vials of holy water. He doesn't know if those will do anything or not, but could also give us an idea of like if there's scratchings or markings or whatever. It can give us a better idea of like to erase them and if that does anything or what to maybe counter it with.
Pretty sweet. What? How many? Have you taken some levels in Paladin then? Is that?
Yes.
That's right. How many do you have? Just curious.
I have 2 levels in Paladin.
Sweet.
Yeah, and we're RPing it as he's figuring shit out.
Mm-hmm.
Love it.
So yeah, the whole tavern thing was, I'm pretty sure, the first time Rogar used Divine Sense, and it wasn't even like intentional. It just kind of happened. Same
there
thing
was
with the
something
Ham
in
and
that
Sam.
other. There was something in that other room for sure.
Oh.
And actually, if Rogar is like, if you guys are talking about this and Rogar is telling the others that he's able to sense this, and maybe tells the others that talks about the times where he did sense it. Scribble that. There should be something there about the Garrison House, and the Hammond Sam that you met with was a fake, but Rogar sensed something. It was actually just a room listening in, listening instructions to his doppelganger was. Perhaps the fact that Rogar sensed that is an indication as to what he.
Yeah, so I would mention that too. And ask if he's able to pinpoint or if he just gets a general idea.
I think without it being in the same room, I can kind of tell like the general direction that it's in. I think back at the guardhouse, I could tell it was like above, but it was more of like an aura kind of thing. I couldn't precisely tell what was up there.
Yeah, like by the book, you actually have to have line of sight to them, which is just the stupidest thing ever. It basically makes it almost useless. But Divine Sense is such a powerful RP ability that I take some liberty.
So that's what that was happening to Rogar.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and this, out of character, Rogar still has no goddamn clue how to do a majority of the other paladin stuff, so don't count on it yet.
Yeah, he's kind of stumbled onto this path. He's got the weapon of a former paladin, and he's kind of had leanings towards following a righteous and just code that he's, I guess, maybe still trying to come up with.
Mm-hmm.
He's aspiring to be something more than what he is. And perhaps something divine has seen that and is giving him a little boost.
Dope. All right, and then Nora wants to ask Rogar, well, what about downstairs?
A little personal.
I was just gonna say, I don't think that's relevant.
I'm unsure what you mean.
Well, talk to Kronos about what happened downstairs at the into terrace?
Oh,
Did he say anything about what we need to do?
I mean, he did his own research and everything, and because we found another member with the brand of Orcus, he thinks there might be a what was it? An artifact or a vestige left behind from Orcus that they might use to make the balefire. But he doesn't think he can offer anything by coming with us to investigate this tunnel that I wouldn't be able to offer, I guess.
Well, the same thing Deeb saw.
Yes. Chrono did mention that he saw the same vision that Deeb saw. But there was a little bit more. In the center of the market district, he saw a demonic winged figure. Couldn't tell who it was, as its face was, hooded?
Yeah, it was in like long, tattered robes with a hood drawn over its head.
It
real like Grim Reaper vibe.
Yeah.
Whoa.
It like flew up into the air and everything, laughing maniacally.
Well, that sounds horrible.
Yeah, that's what I was going for.
Well, all right.
So, Ember is being deceitful in some way. She has some sort of ulterior motives that Allura was not aware of.
Oh, well, she can't confirm that. It's just a feeling to her.
Okay.
But I do now have means of remedying that.
What do you mean?
Well, that was what the shopping was for. I should now be able to restore his memory.
Ah. This is good.
Wow.
Somebody's
Then
prepared
maybe
greater
we'll have some more
restoration.
answers.
And then Rogar learned he can discern if something is hallowed or corrupted, and that Chrono had the same vision as Deebs. Except worse. And then there's some kind of vestige under, we think there might be as part of in the tunnels.
No, the research that Chrono saw was that there was a remnant of Orcus that could possibly be used to create this balefire. I think what it was.
Louis, go ahead and make if you want to make a religion or arcana check.
What was it? The breath of Orcus or something?
So, I imagine, Louis as a scholar of the arcane wouldn't be super familiar with religious artifacts, but at the same time, a wizard would be remiss to learn a little bit about such powerful things. So while the breath of Orcus may not be known to him, a vestige is certainly a term that, especially to a dead or fallen god. Vestiges are, in this world, in this context, pieces left behind. In some cases, an actual physical part of that god's body, or a piece of their physical avatar. in other cases, a weapon they wield. A wand, a sword, an axe, that they or perhaps their physical avatar wielded. Oftentimes when a god has died in the past, items like that, whether it be parts of their physical body or something they wielded, are locked away, entombed, to prevent others with, its purposes from picking them up and carrying on that god's evil work, or using them to their own purposes. Sometimes they're lost. Sometimes they're stolen. Sometimes they're, nobody knows what happened to them. So it is kind of a terrifying thing that there is this piece of an evil god out there that, that could wreak so much havoc. But curious to figure out where it's at. Like, somebody have it? You have to be brought here? What's the deal? Well, what's the deal? But Louis would at least understand, the notion of a vestige.
I see. And did Chrono think that this thing is local right now? That this remnant or vestige? Or it's just, this is a possibility?
It's the balefire is almost definitely this vestige, but and the vision reveals it to be here at some point in the future, during the snows. So possibly as soon as, is it here right now? Uncertain.
We are in private right now. We are, have some...
Yeah, I assume you guys have, stepped away to a private area of the residence where, it's as private as you can get.
Alright, well, Louis is going to pull out those 4 ivory strips and lay them in front of himself. And then grab just massive handfuls of this incense from, not roughly half of what he's gotten so far.
That's a lot of incense.
It is. This is like magic component incense, so it's really expensive. So it's not like it's like pounds and pounds of incense.
Yeah.
Also, it tickles my nose.
We'll say. And he's going to arrange it in kind of this seance-y thing. Pierre is there and helping him out, lighting this incense up. I'm going to cast Legend Lore.
My favorite spells because it is a awesome way to, in-game context, have exposition, where I can just tell you shit about something.
Yeah, no, it's just because you love spoilers, so this is a good way to get you to justify saying them. And yeah, I just want to know about this vestige of Orcus, or the breath of Orcus. Yeah. Does that work?
Yeah, it's certainly, and you determining that this is a vestige of a fallen god. It's such an identifier that it's it is a proper target for a spell like this. I'm curious to think of what a divination spell like Legend Lore would work like for. It makes very much sense that it would be a question to the divine if it were being cast by a cleric, but cast by a wizard. I'm curious to see. It would almost be like, to me, it would almost be like you sort of peeking beyond the veil, almost mathematically creating a mind tunnel through existence, to see a vision of what this thing is, to see the math behind the curtain, that defines what this is and where it fits in. Oh, you're just gonna ask
Pierre, what do you know about the breath of Orcus?
So like you ask Pierre, and text just sort of appears on page, like the ink just sort of swells up onto the page and forms into text that you read.
Yeah,
that's so fucking Louis. I love that. I love that. Yeah, so you look it up in your magic book, and it's just there. That's awesome. Well, as the ink rises to the surface in the paper, forming blots at first and then solidifying into letters, you begin to read. The rest of you see Louis's brow furrow as he almost falls into a trance reading through the text. And here is what you learn. God, this is so much easier with you visualizing like that, because I can literally just read it to you. Orcus was once, Wizard Google. Orcus was once Prince of Undeath, a demon who rose to actual godhood and ruled over one of the abyssal planes. He was felled by a drow goddess. Remnants of his godlike form were separated and sequestered into numerous places. His breath, a physical exhalation from his god corpse, was entombed within Pandemonium, where ostensibly it still lies today, in a place called the Vault of Chaos, where it remains trapped. Said breath is so powerful that it turns all that it touches into undeath. It is theorized. And I imagine Louis might chuckle to himself at that text, because the spell is essentially tapping into knowledge that just exists out there somewhere and pulling it to your book. It is theorized, and you chuckle it. I wonder by whom. That the
Louis
power.
hates the passive voice.
The what?
The passive voice. It is theorized. Who is theorizing?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't need the passive voice. Yeah.
But it's even more obscured because you don't even know who the author is that penned this, right? It's just words coming to you. It's theorized that the power of undeath trapped within this vestige is endless. That were it released, it would change the world forever. The darker.
Guys, this stuff sucks. This is really bad. And I relay everything that I hear about it.
Off the books, do you feel like that was an effective reward for a 5th level spell? Because if it's not, I can keep talking. But that's kind of all I have on that subject.
I guess, yeah, the only other thing, it's a rough idea of what it is and an idea of where it is.
Yeah, the Vault of Chaos and Pandemonium. And I guess the important takeaway is it is there right now. That is its current resting place.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I've never cast that spell before. I don't know what I have no basis for comparison.
Well, if you ever feel like it's not enough, let me know, because I like to talk.
Yeah, a brief summary of the significant lore about the thing that you named.
Mm-hmm.
Might consist of current tales, forgotten stories, or even secret lore that has never been widely known.
And I guess if I were to summarize the things that you should take away from that, is that it is one of multiple vestiges that remain after he was felled. Or other powerful pieces of that god.
As a non-magic user, I imagine this is all like some other language I don't understand what Louis is saying, and he tries to explain it to us. Is that what he's doing?
Yeah, I mean, I'll try to make it.
As
Louis
plain.
knows how to talk to Noro. Yeah.
Okay.
It's, it's. Uh,
And Nora's like, how did you know all that?
Pierre told me.
So, what is pandemonium?
I believe it is a plane of existence. I don't know. I don't know. There's no. I don't know what a cosmic knowledge would be. Would that be Arcana?
Yeah, it'd be Arcana.
Let me see if there's anything I know about pandemonium.
I mean, Keldrum could
Lunalia
tell you
knows
if
what
you.
it is.
Oh, Jesus, 24. Yeah, the windswept depths of pandemonium is an outer plane. It is a abandoned astral dominion. It's made entirely of rock, pierced by innumerable tunnels and caverns, large and small. All open spaces are filled with howling winds that carry the sound of every word, shout, or scream uttered in the place. Without adequate protection, beings with hearing were rendered temporarily deaf in a matter of seconds and permanently deaf in a few minutes. Normal fires could not survive in the maelstrom, and there was no natural light. Conversation could only be accomplished by shouting at close range. Gravity always pulled away from the center of any cavern, so a traveler could walk on floors, walls, or ceiling of said caverns. Streams and rivers would flow along one surface of a cave or inexplicably down the middle through the air. It's a place of chaos. And it exists outside of, like, it's not a layer of the abyss. It is.
No, it's its own plane.
Yeah, it's a chaotic realm. I guess something that could be said about it is it is a place where things are found and lost.
And because Nora doesn't understand all this, it's like, so are they bringing things from that place to here?
I certainly hope not, but it seems as though that is what would happen, according to the visions of Monsieur Darkbeard and Monsieur Chrono.
So this is bigger.
I think I would not like to go there. But I think we also need to figure out who is trying to get there and stop them from doing so. And probably the next steps will be investigating the tunnels below the city.
I just have one thing to do before we go.
Will your Genasi friends be okay? The Nauya?
Well, I would hardly call them my friends, but I'm sure that they're fine. They're out to sea, eating very good food that we paid very good money for.
Forgot.
I'm sure they'll be fine.
So then,
I need to make one last visit to Caldrum before we go.
okay.
Would you like company, or would you prefer to go alone?
Actually, what time of day is it?
Yeah, early mid afternoon. Let's say mid afternoon. You guys have been out and about for a while. Yeah, mid afternoon.
I don't need to visit him before we go. I'll do it later this evening. I would hate to have to bring anything up that would potentially waylay us. It can wait till later.
So where are you going?
To the basement.
What's in the basement?
That's what we need to find out.
Well, Kreneth Voss, you when you get ready to leave the private room that you'd retired to converse, let's say perhaps one of the intact rooms on the second floor, you would find that Kreneth Voss and oh god, why do I make up hard names that are hard to remember? And his new right hand, Nazuk Trask, are waiting for you. And upon seeing the party on the move, Kreneth says, "Going somewhere, are we?"
Yes.
He looks at Louis. Care to translate?
Means we.
So good.
Amazing.
There are some things in the basement that we feel must be investigated.
Yes, one of them is my subordinate. I was hoping you would join me to question her.
Why?
D'accord. I can do so if you would like. Do you mind giving us a few hours? Though I know you had a very late night. So your sleep schedule is all weird. You'll probably be up for a little while.
He looks at Lunalia. He looks at Lunalia and says, "Why?" Because
Yes.
contrary to all logic, I find your friend a useful ally. I was hoping to work with him in discovering what she was up to. But please, by all means, take your time. We may have a few hours before the guards remove us. I've noticed them gathering outside.
Ah, shit, I hate time crunches.
You believe that the guards will remove us from this location?
I'm not certain, but they are gathering in an unusual number.
Is there a reason that the city guards would get involved in this?
Well, from what Trask tells me, there was a deal made with the Master of Coin. If that deal has soured, our welcome is worn. Understand, I came here on my own. I did not warn or notify anyone. I kept my approach quiet, as Nazuk alerted me to a potential problem within our ranks. I have no such deal with anyone in this city. Perhaps our time has come.
Well, that is very inconvenient for us.
Apologies, madam. You can see
How much are you lying to us about?
He looks at Louis with a, well, anyway, sort of look on his face.
Don't look at him. The answer to this question will tell me whether or not I can provide you with more information.
There it is. I'm being honest. And?
We need to get beneath. There's something below that we need to look at. And if you're being kicked out of here, and the guards are coming to remove you, this is perhaps our only chance to get down there.
Then go. I will leave your friend Louis details on where we've gone. We'll attempt, if we are asked to leave, to procure lodging somewhere else within the city. If that fails, we may go further, but I will leave you a way to reach us. That's sufficient?
Not really, but I don't see that we have a choice.
Neither do we. Suggest you go then.
What will you do with Monsieur Aloro?
We'll take him with us. With or against his will.
D'accord, per our previous agreement, please do everything you can to keep him out of shackles.
I would also recommend trying to separate him from Ember. Not permanently. Perhaps separate rooms.
There's something there, isn't there?
Yes.
Good. I was wise to let you in to see them. I sensed something, but am too far from them to get a good idea of what it was. I worry what it will do if I separate them, but I could try.
Well, let's hope that we can finish our investigation and be back before you get kicked out.
Off you go then.
TM says not gonna happen.
Or, before midnight.
Yeah. So, he lets you go. You guys go down the basement, past the storerooms, down the long spiral stair to the dungeon beneath. Within the dungeon beneath, there is a single acolyte robed and masked. And you see in the distance, off in that the room to the east, where there is a barred pit, where within are the is the single live captive surrounded by the corpses of her friends. You see the dim glow of that sapphire gem mounted front and center in the head of a mage hunter, aimed at the pit below.
That sucks.
The lone acolyte watching over her just nods, acknowledging your presence. Lets you off to do whatever you're going to do. Do you have a look around here, or are you just going straight back to the tunnel and down? So you're basically in where the battle map was from last session. You're there. If I can even throw it back on screen for you just to remind you.
Aloro did mention Noro's huge. Finding some interesting books in a library. Can I take 5 and just see if anything sticks out to me in that library down there?
Yes.
I meant to do investigation, not Arcana. I'm sorry. The total is the same though, plus 10 for both.
Yeah. For the sake of brevity, you sweep the room and you find actually laid out before you, very very easy to find. You do see several books that have been gone through, perhaps by Kranithvos and others loyal to him. Let me just pull up my notes here. There are 2 different tomes full of all sorts of research on planar travel. One of them is, Louis, in your estimation, is a very sort of generic, planar travel for dummies type of book that is probably a 30-second printing, 565th copy of a book that's been around for decades. The other is a very private book of research notes. There are pages that aren't from this book that have been stuffed in it, with notes and musings. There are there's all sorts of notes and scribblings, and
You said it's a personal journal?
yes. Sorry.
Can I tell of whom?
Oh yeah, you can. Give me just a second here. I am trying to find the name because my brain has somehow stopped working. Got like 2 pages of notes I wrote today on all of this.
The planes and your place in them.
No. It is the Journal of Nostric Galir.
Huh.
Do I recommend?
Well, somebody in your party would recognize that name if you said it out loud in front of them, for sure.
Louis would recognize that name.
Yeah.
You've read my book.
It is one of the 4 names. It is he is one of the 5 that created the planar conflicts, or that worked together on the project with Linalia's father. He's one of the other 4, and he is the one who she met prior to meeting all of you, that the Crimson Order was chasing. Here we go. Found my notes. There is another.
I'm gonna dig into it right now if we don't.
No, there was a couple other books. 2 books that lie closed, stacked on top of each other. They are necromantic tomes, with a variety of, like, you crack them open, and the first couple pages you're like, oh, this is some dark shit. There is a tome on blood magic, blood rituals, something that strikes close to home, given the blood ritual that you discovered in the basement of Crescendar Manor. And then a couple of religious tomes. One of them has theories on ascension. Like, ascension is one of those, I think Louis might be interested because it's one of those things that nobody really knows anything about how. There's a lot of theories about how gods became gods. There are those who date back to the Dawn War, but there are those who have ascended since then, who have been granted a station or who have, ascended via deeds of their own. But it's poorly documented. There's little that chronicles it, but many musings on the topic. And this book contains it's a collection of musings on how certain gods may have rose to their ranks or stations over the millennia.
Cool. All of those into the bag of holding.
All right. I mean, somebody might complain that they've gone missing. A couple of them definitely look like, somebody was in the middle of, like, this. These weren't, in bookshelves and stuff. These were laid out on a table. Somebody was in the middle of reading this shit and maybe went for a cup of coffee or whatever. But...
Well, they should have locked them up.
Yep. And that's what you find.
This gnome steals more than the Kenku.
Yeah, but it's all...
It's not stealing, they were just sitting there.
Yeah.
Perfectly happy to return them. I just want to read them first.
Yeah, it's called borrowing.
It's a library, you check books out.
Mm-hmm. I don't recall, because my brain is not a brain today.
Right.
I don't recall how you blocked off the tunnel. Did you use Fabricate?
Fabricate.
Yeah, I use
Okay.
Fabricate, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do it again. And I'm going to use it to seal it up behind us as well. And try to make it seem like there is not like a seam there. Try to make it look flush with the wall.
All right. I'm going to narrate some of what you guys find in the tunnel for the sake of brevity. But I would like you to tell me how the party approaches this circular tunnel beneath the city, and how you're going to move through it, what types of things you're going to do to check it out.
Is it best to save that for another session? I don't know.
I was gonna say it's like 10 minutes to midnight.
Yeah, but we're going to be off for 2 weeks, and I'd really like to end on a cliffhanger.
Oh,
Not just,
Hum, are you okay to stay for like 15 minutes?
Yeah, that's fine.
I'm not gonna turn into a pumpkin.
He sounds
Nope.
sleepy.
I'll hold your hand. There's no skeletons. There's no graves down here.
I don't know. Noro's right leg is shaking.
How dark is it?
It is pitch black. It's not lit at all.
That's why I got Clangor's ring on this time. Ring.
Pierre will be shining light.
All right. Well, in that case, then there's if anyone in the party is emitting light, then we can forego any sort of stealth checks. You find at the bottom of the spiraling ramp that tunnel with a very, very slight curve. Rough dug. The floor is roughly flat. The walls and ceiling are roughly circular, but it has definitely been dug out by hand by a team over a long period of time. Painted on the floor, ceiling, walls are spiraling runes of abyssal in a basically a complex chant that's been written out. The further you walk down this curving tunnel, the further these painted runes stretch away from you.
Sorry, the music just stopped. Hang on.
Oh, it's okay. You eventually reach a junction. Up ahead of you, just breaking into view, you can see there is a tunnel that falls away to your right. We'll say that you're moving clockwise around. The tunnel, as far as you can see, runs straight to your right, perhaps towards the center of this massive circle that is sketched out by this curved tunnel. You can choose to either continue following the curve or hang a right and go towards the center.
Oh, okay. We didn't notice that last time then.
No, you didn't go this far.
How does Rogar feel down here? Not sure if he's still AFK.
No, I'm here.
I would say
Uh,
that would depend on whether or not Rogar is actively trying to sense what it's like down here or not.
Rogar will wait until we're like further into the. Like, how far into the cave are we?
You would estimate you've moved about an eighth of the way around this massive circle.
Yeah, Rogar will start like focusing and everything.
Okay. You definitely feel the pit of your stomach drop. And as you open your clenched eyelids and look about, the rest of you might see just a faint glimmer of light pass over his eyes. As Rogar, you feel and see this place is desecrated. The ground here is unholy. It is impure, unclean. There is just a taint of evil that turns your stomach. And I need to look and see how long this ability lasts.
I think we should head down this branching path. If the rest of this circle looks much the same as this, I don't think there's anything more we can learn.
Until the end of your turn. Reaching that branch, when you use your ability, you turn and look to the right, and the sickening sense strengthens.
Alright.
Is the right towards the center, or is that continuing along the edge of the circle?
It is a spoke that seems to head towards the center of this massive circle.
I think that we know what lies on the outside of this circle. I think that we should find what is in the center.
Before we move on, can I take out a vial of holy water
Mm-hmm.
and just see if pouring it at this juncture does anything to
Yeah, you bet.
the desecration?
You pull out the vial and you notice that the water within is bubbles forming in it, as if it's reacting to something.
I will uncork it, and I guess, is there any scribblings like on the wall or on the floor around here?
Yeah, there are these massive abyssal runes painted on the ceiling, the walls, and the floor, and they're like they spiral. Right, so words that are on the wall spiral down to the floor, and then up the other wall, and then up onto the ceiling.
I will pour it on some of the words that are on the wall then.
As you go to do that, you lean close and begin to pour the water. Defying gravity, it flows directly away from the wall and evaporates in the center of the hall.
Oh, shit.
Do you have any more of those?
I've got 3 more.
Try it again. Lunalia is going to assist him with some control water.
Alright, I will do another one.
All right.
I will point the flask like at the wall, uncork it, and like just hold it there so it doesn't flow towards the middle.
Got it.
If that makes any sense.
And
Like if it's
Lunalia,
defying gravity.
and Lunalia uses the control water spell to
Sorry,
force
shape water. Yeah.
shape water.
It just moves it a bit.
This doesn't raise the undead, does it?
No, Noro. There's nothing dead down here.
It's dark down here.
Yeah, you can
That
move.
doesn't mean there's undead.
Wow.
Yeah, you can move or change the flow of the water up to 5 feet in any direction.
Yeah, so she's just gonna move it so that it touches the wall. Or the markings.
So the water leaves and you can almost feel the water resisting your arcane push, but you will the water to flow the way you want, drawing from within you that elemental affinity, and it eventually moves in the direction you will it. It splashes against the paint on the wall, and begins to hiss and sizzle. As it does, you can see, Rogar being up close to it, you can see the paint peel away, cracking, bubbling, boiling, revealing naked stone underneath. And as you do, you hear a massive come from down the straight hallway. And I think that's where we can end tonight.
Oh dear.
Shit.
Oh.
So about that entrance you sealed up. And
Yeah,
that,
there's no quick way to get back through that. I had to. It's only going to be like a foot of stone that I closed it off with. Because I had to have enough to like remove what was there and then put it back as we got through. So,
And this roar came down from down the hallway that Rogar's sense was stronger?
Yeah, from the center of the circle where your divine sense desecration is.
Got
and
it.
I was a little distracted. So you dumped holy water and it evaporated.
I dumped holy water and it moved into like free flow basically into the center of the entire hallway.
Have you
Not
seen
touching
that?
the floor or anything.
Have you seen the footage of that waterfall where the wind is blowing the water upwards? That's all over Reddit. It did that. He tried to pour it on the paint, and it flew it flew the other direction, defying gravity, sort of into the center of the room where it just dissipated.
Kind of like how Poker was describing how things work in Pandemonium.
Mm-hmm.
So then, what did you do? Then you used shape water to.
Yep.
To
Force the water to hit the wall.
It's incredibly creative, and I'm totally gonna reward that creativity. That's cool.
So you water bended holy water.
Yes.
Holy water bending.
Awesome.
2 vials left.
That was pretty cool.
Cool.
All right. Well, I'm gonna stop the stream and ready for watch.